Well, we are here for week 3 of the NFL and week 3 of fantasy football. We're here on Wednesday, September 20th, 2023. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of not to talk about. We got some injuries we don't want to talk about. We got some other things we want to talk about. But first, we got to talk about how JT is doing on this beautiful Wednesday in Southern California, baby.
Yo. It's definitely better weather than New York's experience. It's getting a little cold out there, so it's nice to come and celebrate the birthday and get a little sunshine. But enough about me. We got a lot to. It's been a wild Wednesday.
That it has. And so first, we'll just start off with some reports from around the league that the marathon that has been going on for 2 years between the Los Angeles Rams and Cam Akers has finally ended. And Cam Akers has gone to the Minnesota Vikings. And the Vikings have Alexander Mattison, who JT did not really like too much, and now it's even worse. So Cam Akers to the Vikings, baby. Basically, they just gave it to him, and they swapped 6-round picks.
Yeah, I mean, like, whatever's going on between Akers and McVay, finally, we saw some of this last year, and I think, they can't really put up with that. They actually, the Rams look competent, man, and I've tried to tell people, like, when you have 25 mil on the table like McVay does from Amazon, he's not going to come back to lose. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. It's not a pride thing. It's not a whatever thing. He just saw that they had an opportunity to win. They've done great in the middle rounds historically. They're pretty good evaluators of talent. And you get Matthew Stafford back. And I think people kind of forgot, when healthy, this guy's a top 10 quarterback in the league. So they finally get rid of Akers. As it's well documented on our pods, on my pod, on whatever pods that I've been on. I'm not a big Alexander Mattison guy. I don't like the term jag, but he's definitely felt more of just a guy. And, this kind of exemplifies it. He's probably fine in a committee. I expect it to be a committee more going forward. And it's clear that, he's not that impact guy at the running back position. And they must have felt, that he's not doing a job. Not the holes are there and he's not hitting them. Granted, that may not be fair. They did face a pretty good Eagles defense. But I think it's probably going to be, 45%, and 10% to whoever they activate off their practice squad moving forward.
And really, like, for people that are excited for Cam Akers to go to a high-flying offense like the Minnesota Vikings, I would temper your expectations even more, because we all have talked about, like JT said, we've all talked about Kevin O'Connell and his system. They throw the ball. Cam Akers isn't that much of a pass catcher. They're literally the same player. Alexander,
in a sense, yeah. I mean, with Akers, you can point to the Achilles injury, and I think him coming back definitely zapped him of some explosion there. They're not going to be too big of pass catchers. I think they're just, I think they're hoping to get about 80 yards between both of them per game. And as we've kind of both agreed, this is a 600 pass attempt offense. They're the way that they move the chains is, using the best offensive weapon in the game in Justin Jefferson. So, this just kind of validated how I felt about Mattison. I thought people were going crazy taking him in the 3rd round, late 3rd, early 4th, and just they're like, oh, he's going to be better than Dalvin Cook last year. Dalvin Cook had 1,000 yards, and Dalvin Cook's a pretty good running back, man. And I know he's diminished a bit now, the years are adding up, but I never saw Mattison as that kind of guy. And, kind of shout out Jared. Jared was with me on this, where people would go crazy for Mattison in drafts over the last 2 years. And we would both kind of text each other, why are people going crazy when he's had the opportunity? Nothing's really jumped off the page. And, it is what it is.
I mean, he's had he's just had flashes of opportunity, and he played defenses that had an opportunity to miss.
Yeah, I mean, he was always a volume based play. It wasn't like Madison's a guy, he's a top 10 talent. Like it was always like, oh, he's gonna get an opportunity, and I didn't see it. So
AJ's in the house saying the Akers trade will determine which of the two running backs suck the most. A dong. Kevin O'Connell is doing the Lord's work, and I think that deserves a wee.
100%. Shout out AJ for that. Yeah, and shameless plug here. You'll probably see us doing a little bit more on Red Zone, going live during Red Zone. So if you guys want some company while watching the games, we'll be yakking it up. Maybe this week. We'll see.
Yakking it up. And that brings us to some players that yacked it up last week but are trying to bounce back this week. Instead of studs and duds, we're doing bounce back candidates for week 3. Who you got at the quarterback position there, JT?
I'm going to go with the guy that's trying to push his way to the Jets, Justin Fields. He's trying to rewrite their wrongs for taking Zach Wilson over him. Just like throwing his QBs under a complete buzzsaw. I mean, his coaches under a complete buzzsaw there. I know how we were talking about, like, I think probably like last year and maybe the last couple of years, the Texans have been the most dysfunctional organization. Some thought the Cardinals maybe, but I think the Cardinals have been shockingly competent for the roster, like just overhaul they've gone through, losing Kyler Murray, hiring Jonathan Gannon. The Bears are just an absolute clusterfuck right now, and they look positively awful. I know we kind of looked at last year like they kind of like lucked into getting the number 1 pick. I think they've lost their last 12 games by double digits.
By 25, they've allowed the opponent to score 25 points in each of their last 12 losses.
This is no longer like, oh, they lucked in to get, like, this was a strategic plan to getting the number 1 pick. Let's remind people, this is a team that traded the number 32 overall selection, or number 33 at the time, for Chase Claypool.
CC.
And they kind of like lucked into getting the number 1 pick. It's pretty obvious. Lovie Smith threw them a bone. And, it's pretty clear. Like, I don't know, man. It's starting to be like, does Ryan Poles know what he's doing? This is definitely a team where it's just like, do we really want any part of it? Mm-hmm. We're seeing Fields getting dropped in 1 QB now, which is kind of crazy. I mean, seeing that in a couple leagues is kind of wild. They got Kansas City this week. Spagnuolo's defenses typically struggle with mobile quarterbacks, especially at this time of the year.
They look good though, bro. That Kansas City
it did not look good, but I have a strong feeling that there's going to be a lot of garbage point potential there. And based on his press conference, you got to assume Justin Fields is just going to throw caution to the wind and just run.
Mm-hmm.
Although, look, I'm never going to fault I think it's more of an organizational problem than a Justin Fields problem. Granted, there's that clip that's kind of proliferating on Twitter where DJ Moore was wide open and he just, decided to take a 12-yard sack. Mm-hmm. So some of this is definitely on Fields, but man, the Bears, sorry for a lady shot caller. It's not looking good. They're looking like the Jets with Adam Gase. That's how bad I would say this is Jets with Adam Gase bad.
Jesus Christmas. And what? DJ Moore's Le'Veon Bell?
Jesus Christ. I actually was like kind of hyped for DJ Moore. I think he'll be fine moving forward. But man, he just can't get out of quarterback purgatory, huh?
My bounce back candidate for week 3 is the Sunshine King, Trevor Lawrence, playing against Houston. I think it's going to be pretty easy to bounce back from a 9-point performance. I think he'll be able to score more than 9 points this week.
Yeah.
Whatever he was doing against Kansas City last week was beyond me, but that's okay. We're moving on. Who you got for running back this week there, JT?
I'm going to go kind of probably counter here. I'm going to say Najee. I think Najee against the Raiders is going to have a big day. We just saw the Bills kind of like three-head attack them a little bit with, Cook, Lat Murray, Damian Harris. They all got in. I don't think Cook scored, but I think Harris and Lat Murray scored. We saw them just kind of bludgeon the Raiders in Buffalo. So team coming off a road trip, good win by the Steelers against a better front. The Browns definitely have a better front. They have a better defense. Kind of saw them struggle to get the run game going, but I think them facing a significantly weaker defense. I think the Browns actually have a pretty good defense. I think we'll see the Steelers get that run game off the ground there. And I have Najee as a buy ahead of this week. I know everybody's kind of like jumping on the Warren train a little bit. I think Warren and Najee will probably see some good action against the Raiders, which they're starting to become a defense where you're trying to target guys, where you want to start guys if they're playing the Raiders. The Raiders just look like a mess on defense.
Yeah, I'm going with our hometown hero. I'm going with Breece Hall playing against the Patriots.
Wow.
Breece has never played against the Patriots. The Jets are going to look to snap their 15-game losing streak against the Patriots. I believe it's 15, or it's either 15 or 12. 14?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, they haven't won since before Adam Gase. So, they're looking to break that streak. And the way they do that is by running the damn ball if they're smart. Or, we get hacked by Hackett and it's just all Denver all over again.
I think that game's going to come down to a field goal. I think I'm always wary of trying, a team that's one-dimensional going against the Patriots, but I think it's a fair call with Breece. We just saw Mostert have a pretty big day, and Miami's O-line isn't spectacular. I think they were without Terron Armstead that game as well. So I think it's plausible. I still think Zach Wilson is a massive issue, and I struggle wanting any pieces of any offense of Zach Wilson going against Bill Belichick.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to who you got at wide receiver this week.
Trying to scroll a little bit. Well, Drake London popped. I think Tyreek probably does better than 540 and a touchdown. Well, that's not bad. I'd expect a little bit of a boom there. I can't pull up the schedule. I had someone down. That, and I think Ridley probably pops against the Texans. I'd expect a big bounce back for Ridley. The Texans secondary looks to be a bit in disarray there. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm liking there. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the rematch of the Super Bowl for 2 years ago. I'm going with Jamar Chase bouncing back.
That's good.
And
even if it's not Burrow,
yeah,
interesting.
I mean, I just don't think that they have the secondary to compete with those two wide receivers.
Fair enough.
If one of you says Kyle Pitts bounce back, you're gonna get slapped. Don't worry. There's none of that.
AJ, you should know. Also, I think we've both been on the Kyle Pitts is not. We're not there yet with him, and he was a in the box guy for a while. Like, we were taking what was in the box.
Yeah. Ewok said he was promised nips.
We didn't get to 100 yet, so if we get to 100, we'll get some nips.
We're past 100. We have to get to 500 now.
Oh shit, we got to 100.
Yeah. D's nuts.
Then I'm nips too. Where's the nips? Take it. It's my birthday.
It was your birthday. Here we go. Here you go. Hey, how's it going?
Nah, we'll have to air the after credits.
Watson, Goff, Stafford, or Geno to stream this week?
Not Goff. I'm not going Goff there. Probably stay away from Stafford. I think they're on the. Or is it in LA or is it in Cincinnati?
I believe it's
at Cincinnati.
Yeah.
That's interesting. It's not an absolute no. Gino.
I don't know Carolina's defense, but I mean Brian Burns probably won't be playing. Shaq Thompson.
Who the Browns got? Oh, not the. I don't trust Watson against Vrabel's defense, even though their secondary has been hemorrhaging guys.
Yeah.
I would probably go Gino or Watson.
I'd probably go Gino too.
If I'm in a tough matchup, like say I'm facing Mahomes, or say I'm facing Hurts, or I'm facing one of those elite guys, I might take the shot on Watson just because that's a really leaky secondary down there in Tennessee. They get Cleveland at home. But apparently he might get suspended or something. There's something going around there that I'd be shocked if he got suspended. Atlanta, I think, has a sneaky defense. Stafford is a fine play, but I'd probably roll Gino there. And the reason I'm saying Gino over Stafford is that, you got two coaching staffs that are very familiar with each other. I think that could turn out to be a low-scoring game there a bit more than we think. I think that's an underplay for me.
Drop Elijah Moore or Gainwell for Akers?
No, neither.
Yeah, I wouldn't drop either.
I like Ewok's hot take. I do think Atlanta has the team construction to upset Detroit. I actually don't even think that's that hot of a take. I was telling everybody after the Lions game, I think they're going to be severely overrated in the upcoming weeks after the Chiefs win, when the Chiefs were down two of their three best players.
Yeah. And I really like Elijah Moore's usage. If he would have caught those 4 different receptions inbounds, he would have been a totally different wide receiver. And I would have actually won more than 3 fucking games this week. But neither here nor there. Elijah Moore's usage, I like it, and Gainwell's coming back, so that's cool. Drop Gus Edwards, Sutton, or Jaylen Warren.
Definitely not Gus Bus. I think you can't consider dropping Gus Bus at this point. He's going to get 15 carries a game.
Well, and Justice Hill is questionable for this weekend.
Also, I don't think Justice Hill is very good at football, so that's the other part of that. I'd probably drop Warren.
Yeah.
I get he looked better. Look, I'm a big Najee guy, but even I'll admit Warren he jumped off the screen more. But I think a lot of that had to do with play calling, man. I mean, Warren was getting the ball in space. Najee was getting ran right into Myles Garrett. And that could be also a reason why you want to keep Warren, because Matt Canada I think he hates Najee Harris. So if you wanted to drop Sutton and keep Warren, I wouldn't hate it, but I'd probably drop Warren there.
Same. Who you got bouncing back at the tight end position in week 3?
Hayden Hurst. I think I think week 1 was more indicative of what we're going to see from Hurst. Maybe not on a week in, week out basis, but every other week kind of basis there. I think he had a really tough matchup with the Saints. And I think, there's a real chance Andy Dalton starts that game. And, the Seahawks secondary still, Seahawks are giving up points, man. And I think the Panthers pass catchers are going to be a little underrated. And I think Hurst sees a better game than he saw against a good Saints defense there.
Yeah, I have a question before I get into mine. Who's the better waiver wire pickup as of right now because of lack of position? Hunter Henry or Puka?
Puka.
Puka?
100%. One of them is still on waivers. The other is not.
I don't know, man.
Puka's on no waivers.
Should not be on waivers.
Puka is on no waivers. I agree. I like Hunter Henry. I have a really high ownership of Hunter Henry. Mm-hmm. But if you're telling me to replace a tight end versus Puka who's getting godlike targets, you know, I got to go with the wide receiver.
Yeah. No, I know. But it's tight. Hunter Henry through 2 weeks is tight end 2 right now in a semi-competent offense.
Yeah, I think that's more likely to see regression than Puka.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of regression, we're not regressing, so smash that like and smash that subscribe because it goes a lot further than you think. What's up, Jonah? How we doing? How we feeling? How we living? Trade Akers for Tutu? I mean, it's kind of like shit for shit, pretty much.
Sure. Why not? I don't think Akers is going to get any play, so I don't think he sees substantial carries until week 5 or 6, if he gets them at all. So, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm taking Travis Kelce this week, bouncing back.
Oh no shit.
Yeah. There we go. I won. Aha. What's up, Alex? How we doing? How we feeling? How we living? Hey guys, I was offered ETN, Cook, Gabe Davis for Bijan, Johnston, and A-Chain. 12-man, 3 flex PPR. Thoughts? Need to solidify my last flex spot.
That ain't how you're gonna solidify it, bud. No. You're asking for a world of problems trading Bijan. Bijan is untradeable. And somebody told you, I don't know who that was, that he was the 102 in drafts. Hey. You're welcomes. You're welcomes. Bijan is untradeable at this point. You can't trade him. He's that guy, man. And I was impressed that he was able to put up points on a stout Packers defense. And they're not going to let Ritter throw them out of games, man. He's rock solid, man. The only thing that stops Bijan is injury. I wouldn't look to cut Bijan to solidify a flex spot. I would look elsewhere to do that.
I 100% agree. I have Bijan in many, many, many leagues this year. Well, mostly redraft, but yeah. So let's move on to get into week 3 and Thursday night preview.
Oh, we got more. We got more.
Yeah,
we got more.
What's up, Untamed Music? How we doing? How we feeling? How we living? I just traded Mostert, Najee, and Jordan Love for Ramondre, Fields, and Gainwell. Thoughts? 14-team half PPR.
I'm gonna have to assume this is probably one QB, right?
Yeah,
I think it's one QB.
Yeah.
So, I guess spoiler alert for what's in the box segment. Jordan Love is one of my biggest sell highs. I think he looked terrible against Atlanta, and given what we've seen with the Bears in absolute disarray, I think that his standing right now is going to look more like a mirage come season's end. So I like selling high on Love. If in one QB, I mean, okay, so we could eliminate Love and Fields. Who cares? Mostert and Najee for Ramondre and Gainwell. I don't know. I don't really like selling Mostert right now. I think Mostert's kind of a weekly running back 1 right now until his knee explodes, which that can happen in any 4-week period. I'm not a big Ramondre guy, unfortunately. I think Zeke's still going to get the ball. I do like Gainwell. I think Gainwell is probably the best Philly back, and that's despite Swift running for 175 yards. I think if you take closer inspection with how the Vikings were running, though, what defense they were running, you would see that anyone could have gotten 150 yards.
Yes. And, they just figured out their weakness for that game, and that's
so. Yeah, that's not a trade that I'm looking to make, but it definitely could work out in your favor, especially if Fields goes nuclear. Ramondre and Najee's probably a wash, and then Mostert versus Gainwell. Hey, Gainwell's got the better health track record, so it could work out. Probably not a move I'm looking for. At best, to me, that's probably lateral. Congratulations to Alex getting freaking Bijan at pick 11.
Yeah.
I wish I could have been in that league.
And he has Dobbs as his last flex at the moment. I think you can rock with him for right now. I mean, I think that's not bad. I wouldn't panic.
Yeah, someone's going to get hurt. You could fill that with a waiver pickup. Yeah. I'm not sacrificing Bijan to fix a flex in week 3. You have a foundational block. Find another way to fill that flex would be my recommendation.
All right. Well, before we move into Thursday night football, I think we got to talk about some late waiver wire and trade targets.
Okay.
Because we should probably do that before we start in week 3.
You got
it. What's up, Captain Joe King? Loving the stream already. A sub. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Should I accept the trade offer? AJ Brown and DJ Moore for Garrett Wilson, Miles Sanders, and Sam Laporta?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Smash.
Yeah. Smash.
I'm assuming he gets AJ Brown and DJ Moore. Yeah. If he gets AJ Brown and DJ Moore, that's an absolute smash.
Yeah. All right, late waiver wire. I know. So the big guy on the waiver wire this week was obviously Jerome Ford after the unfortunate double homicide to Nick Chubb's knee. And I'm not trying to take any light or make a joke of it because it was pretty gruesome and not very cool. So Jerome Ford, number 1 waiver wire this week because he put in work as well, and that reception is low. I mean, he put in work for when he came in. He came in what, mid?
Yeah, he got a lot of his yardage on that breakdown run that was more fluky than I thought sustainable. But I hear you. It's a good Steelers defense.
Yeah. And so he was the number 1 waiver wire. I know people that spent copious amounts of fab on him. And so with that being said, the Browns did bring in Kareem Hunt. I don't think he's going to knock him up too much. But nevertheless, there are some targets out there that you can go grab to stash for the time being with all these running backs going down with injuries. And I really hope it doesn't happen because he's been consistent here right now. But if you're looking for someone to stash and have someone on your IR that's coming back in a couple of weeks, just in case, I would go and grab Tajay Spears of the Tennessee Titans as a handcuff to Derrick Henry, and he's already getting in some work as well. And one other guy I kind of like going forward is a man that's been around for a little while, had some hype, didn't have some hype, and then came on stronger last year for the New York Football Giants, and that's Isaiah Hodgins. He had 14 points in full PPR last week, and I think he could slide in as the wide receiver 2 for the New York Giants going forward.
All right. Interesting choices there. Good. I like the first shout. Hodgins, I don't think I want anything to do with the Giants, man, especially this week. You could probably get Hodgins after they get destroyed by the Niners.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
I think for me, Craig Reynolds is probably going to get some carries. I think he's going to get cover your ears, Gibbs fans. I think he's going to get the bulk of the carries, man. It's pretty obvious that they're not using Gibbs in between the tackles as much as we thought. And I think people think that this Demon injury is going to lead to Gibbs getting the lion's share. And it's pretty obvious that that's just not what's going to happen for whatever reason. I have Algier as a buy low guy. If anyone's wavering on Algier, I would happily purchase him immediately. He still got 46% of the touches last week. I think that's going to continue moving forward. The Saints are kind of an interesting play moving forward. You got Kendre Miller looking like he's going to play. And, the only thing stopping him for this week is Tony Jones. And Tony Jones has been shuffled between practice squad and injured reserve countless times. So that's an interesting one. I think Javonte's due for a pop. I'd probably buy Javonte.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is the time.
Yeah, I think Javonte looks pretty good. He looks better than I thought. I was pretty low on him in the offseason, but I think Javonte, hey man, he's going to get the opportunity there. The whole community overrated Samaje. Everybody overrated Samaje Perine. And McLaughlin, I don't think is going to steal that many goal line targets like he did in this game. Josh Kelly was a dud this week. Eckler looks kind of iffy to play this week again. I think, given Flores' scheme with the Vikings, the Chargers have the Vikings this week. He kind of basically just dared Philly to throw the ball. He just said, I'm going to take away all the passing lanes and I'm going to dare you to throw the ball. Or run the ball. And I think Kelly could have a pretty good week. I think Kelly could have a bounce back.
Yeah, I think so too. And he's like, this is exactly how it happened with Austin Eckler. If everyone doesn't remember, Austin Eckler was in the league for about 4 years, and then Melvin Gordon started to teeter, and he came in. So I'm buying Josh Kelly in Dynasty right now.
Yeah, maybe the biggest buy is Brian Robinson. I don't know if anyone can buy him after this week.
Yeah, I was gonna say
he exploded. He's a good target for me in redrafts and buy now moves in Dynasty. I'm just Gibson. He was a good rookie, and then afterwards, it's been downhill from there. I'm in on Stroud. I loved what I saw out of Stroud, man. He looks like he might be the best quarterback of the three. It's just hard. It's hard to evaluate him when he has basically no line and no weapons, and he's still producing. He looks great.
I like Tank Dell.
Tank Dell is good
as a waiver wire pickup. Going forward, he's owned in less than 40% of sleeper leagues. Nico Collins is up there, so he's probably not available on your waiver wire anymore.
And especially after this week.
Yeah.
AJ's on the Kendre train.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think he's a fun speculative buy. We'll see. I don't know. He keeps having the same knee injury, so I'm just a little wary about him. I think Jonathan Mingo is probably going to continue to get more and more work. He had 95% of routes run in the Panthers game, and they tried to emphasize him in the second half. I think that's probably going to continue. We had high hopes for Bears running backs, and I don't think any of them are playable. My dart throw for the week, my deep sleeper is probably Elijah Mitchell.
Dude, why are you reading my mind, bro? Like I have weird feeling in my gut that I don't know, man.
I just think for Elijah Mitchell, we've seen this kind of time and time again with we've seen it over and over again on these Thursday night games, man, where guys are going to start using more backups are going to get play in this game, especially at the running back position. We saw it with Swift. We saw it last year. And I think if I'm the Niners looking at this game, I got a home game against a Giants team that needed to come back down 21 against the Cardinals. I get them at home. They're banged up. I'm saving CMC. I think CMC probably plays the first half, but he's going to be on he's going to be on a pitch count. And why wouldn't you see what you have in Mitchell here?
Yeah.
I don't know if they have any other third round running backs available on their squad, but yeah.
Cool. Let's get on to Thursday. Speaking of Thursday night, we have the San Francisco 49ers playing the New York Football Giants. The Giants and the Niners both look to continue their win streak, and I don't think the Giants will.
I think it's going to be this feels like it's going to either be like a Brock Purdy 4 touchdown passing game, or it's going to be just ugly for fantasy, like 30-3, and the Niners are just like pulling their guys by the fourth quarter.
And are we starting Matt Breida this week?
No, I don't think I'm starting any Giants this week.
Not Darren Waller?
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe Darren Waller, but man, nothing of that Giants line looks to me that they're going to be able to handle this Niners pass rush. I think Jones is probably going to get smoked this week. I probably wouldn't even play him. Dude. I mean, I hope they don't leave him in until the fourth quarter this week.
Do you think Ayuk's going to play with his shoulder?
I don't. Was he on the injury report? I didn't see anything about him on the injury report. I think we could. I think we could see him active, but not involved.
Yeah, I could see that too, and I think maybe Debo has another solid game. What's up, Kennedy? How we doing? How we feeling? How we living? Hey guys, would you make this trade? Joe Mixon and Michael Pittman all received Devontae Adams and Zach Moss.
Interesting.
I'd stick with Joe Mixon and Michael Pittman.
So, like, I love getting Devontae there for Pittman and Mixon. But the Moss part, Jonathan Taylor's going to have to come back at some point, man. And I'm not trying to get suckered into fool's gold on Zach Moss. If you only need one starter out of that trade, I could see doing it for Devontae. But I don't know. I don't think what's the difference between Devontae and Pittman, man? I don't know if it's as big as we think.
I really think Pittman's usage is elite and not a mistake.
I love Steichen as a play caller, man. So I don't really care about Mixon, man. I'm not a Mixon guy. So Mixon, Moss, yeah, Mixon has better name recognition. But I'm not too crazy about what's going on with the Raiders. That's probably not a trade I'm making. But if you really want Devontae and you feel like he completes your team, go for it.
AJ saying it's going to be a fucking bloodbath. Hill's limited. He was a decoy for most of the Rams game after the shoulder. Ayuk is limited. He was a decoy.
No. I mean, he's probably just going to run a couple go routes or whatever. They'll throw him out there, but they have so many weapons. Why would you risk him?
Exactly. And that brings us to a little bit of Academy Award.
Put the gun down.
I saw you with the box. What was in the box?
Because I envy your normal life.
Put the gun down, David.
It seems that envy is my sin.
Oh, what's in the box?
Not till you give me the
What's
gun.
in the fucking box?
Give me the gun.
What's in the Box is a segment where we talk about players that you may want to sell for the bag, for the box bag thing. And I think JT talked about one a little earlier. Starts with the same J. What's his name again?
Oh, yeah. Jordan Love, 100%. Dynasty, redraft, 1 QB, super flex, whatever it is, that's my number one sell. I don't know. Everyone's going to put up numbers on the Bears this year. That's pretty evident, especially with their DC, the subject of an FBI raid. And, something tells me that's probably going to be gambling related.
Uh-huh.
Eberflus is having to try to take over and salvage the ship, but they're devoid talent on top of it. So I think that's going to be a problem. Everyone's going to put up points there. Yeah, loves my number one guy. Redraft Dynasty Superflex 1 QB. That's the guy I'm selling high on. 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Kennedy has Christian McCaffrey, and he's sitting on Alvin Kamara in that Joe Mixon, Michael Pittman for Devontae Adams Moss deal.
Yeah, I mean, look, if Devontae completes your lineup, I can understand it in redraft. I think you're selling the two and the 3 there, and I don't think the 2 is that far from the 1. Yeah. So I'm probably, it's the Moss part. I don't think that the Moss part is sustainable there.
Well, it's not,
and I'm not a mixing. I'm not a mixing guy at all. So, yeah. But yeah, Jordan Love.
Smash that like, smash that subscribe if you don't mind. Jordan Love's hot commodity right now.
Instant sell. Him, Baker, Sam Howell. If I could sell Sam Howell after this game. You want to sell QBs or before they play the tough defenses and get exposed, in my opinion. I'm probably selling Jerome Ford because I think, he's probably going to – I've gone back and forth where it's like this guy's going to get an amazing, touch. He's going to get all the touches, but they also lost Jack Conklin. They play in the North. And something tells me that they're going to try to see if Watson can carry them more than their run game. I think they're going to get away from their run game a bit there.
Let's see. I had one. I think I had one. I definitely had one. Where is he?
Another one I have is Rachaad White.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm selling off the pop on him. There's 2 running backs with 30+ attempts, and they have no explosive runs. It's Rachaad White and your boy Miles Sanders, who, again, another guy very firmly off.
I'm selling the Dallas Cowboys defense for the bag. They are currently they
play the Cardinals this week.
They're currently ranked number 3 in all of fantasy points right now.
I don't think that's going to stop.
It's ridiculous.
They're really fucking good, and I think they're going to absolutely smoke. I don't think James Conner makes it out of the first half, and Josh Dobbs is going to throw like 3 picks.
So with the Baker Mayfield, selling Mayfield, are you selling Mike Evans as well? Or is he
yes and no. If I get a Godfather offer, of course, it would depend on my team. If I'm going for it and I'm trying to win a championship, no. Because when you think about how Baker plays, Mike Evans kind of plays into that. Now, Is he going to get an 80-yard reception every week? Is that sustainable? Probably not. He's also a hamstring guy. He's always, got a hamstring issue. He's more of a lean towards a sell than someone I'm trying to sell immediately, if that makes it. He's not someone I'm actively trying to get rid of versus, Jordan Love, DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift's another guy for me.
Big.
You can get the world for him this week. But you can get whatever you want for him this week.
I think I'm trying to, if the hype is where it is, I'm selling Nico Collins right now. I think that
is there hype?
I mean, he's a top 20 wide receiver, at least, if not top 15 right now. So, yeah. He's a wide receiver.
Other guys. I'm probably looking to maybe sell Addison a little bit there in redraft, not in Dynasty. In Dynasty, he's not a thought to sell. But in terms of redraft, probably looking to sell him a little bit. Justin Jefferson's going to start getting those touchdowns that he's getting. Goddard's probably another guy for me that I'm looking to sell. You know, there's a lot of prognosticators and pundits out there that were saying, oh, Dallas Goedert's going to come back and steal all of Devontae Smith's targets. We see that that's clearly not the case. And probably looking at Goff a little bit. Mm-hmm. When you look at what Goff's done over the last like 15 or so games, that's starting to look like maybe the best stretch of his career. And if I'm projecting a guy moving forward, I think it's going to be closer to the best stretch of his career than a sign of things to come. And I'm probably selling Josh Reynolds ahead of time as well. I'd rather sell him earlier rather than later. You know, he had a big week
last year too.
I mean, I'm just playing the percentages there. Is he going to end the year as a wide receiver 1? He's probably going to end up the season as a wide receiver 4 or 5. Happy to cash in on that while I can. Yeah. We're going into week 3. There's some wacky things out there, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Isn't Kirk Cousins the QB1 right now?
Yeah, he's QB1. QB1, Tyree, and he's number 2 in all of fantasy football.
Probably should sell Mike Thomas as well.
Yeah, well, you still can.
Yeah. Probably should instant sell that guy.
And speaking of selling, these players you could get an offer for, and you may not like it very much. And this, without further ado.
Oh, God, I'm going to have diarrhea again. It's okay. Ma'am, bathroom, bathroom, bathroom.
Oh, that's a big boy, isn't he?
Isn't he? So Eat Shit and Die is a trade bullshit talk segment where we talk about trades that we were offered and we grade them on a couple different levels. And the best one is Eat Shit and Die, and the next one is Crack Kills. And I'm going to kick us off this week because I got a really good one. It's probably the best good one. I thought I typed it down, but I didn't. It was... Dun, 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 dun. This is who they wanted. They wanted Calvin Ridley. Okay. And now I will update this and show you what they offered me. One more second, and they will have offered me this thing. And they wanted Calvin Ridley, and were sending me Josh Palmer, a 24-second and a 25-second.
Lovely. Exactly what I thought. A lot of mine are the Dynasty variety, man, where I got people trying to send me Michael Thomas for a first-round pick. It's just like dumb fucking shit. I had someone try to trade me Zach Wilson for Zay Flowers. Yeah. And then it's like counter. It's like counter what? What is there to counter?
All I know is that you want Zay Flowers. I know nothing else.
Yeah. In redraft, someone tried to offer me Jaden Reed and Aaron Jones for Kenneth Walker, and I was just like, all right, this is just ridiculous. Yeah, lots. Mine are just so ridiculous. Like I don't even know if they're worth
Yeah.
talking about.
What's up, Hudson? How we doing? How we feeling? How we living? Need to pick 3 full PPR: Ridley, Addison, London, and Puka. So throw Puka in there.
Yeah, I think Puka's a must start.
I think
further notice.
Puka and Ridley. I think it's between Addison and London.
Yeah, Falcons got Detroit. Wow, ooh, and Minnesota's got
Chargers.
Damn, that's
tough. I'd go Addison.
I'm going London over Addison.
Okay.
I think the Lions just lost Gardner Johnson. I think that's going to be a big issue for them that they're not going to be able to solve in a week. So I'll roll Drake London over Jordan Addison.
What's up, Kenny? How we doing? How we feeling? How we living? Start 1 full PPR. Njoku or Hunter Henry? I'm rolling with Mr. Henry.
So Henry's got the Jets.
Oh, that's right. Shit.
And the Browns have the Titans. Browns are at home. Man, it's really hard to kind of go against Hunter Henry, but I'm going to go Njoku. I don't know if the Jets really have anyone to like completely. I don't know if they're good tight end stoppers. I'm going to go Njoku there. I think Cleveland is going to be forced to throw the ball if they're going to win that game. I think Tennessee is going to try to force Deshaun Watson to beat them.
I agree. Or no, I don't agree. I think Hunter Henry is going to be good.
Against the Jets?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. There's just something. I have just no faith in humanity anymore. But you want to hear some? Oh, what's up, bitches? What's up?
I gave you a shout out earlier, Jared.
Yeah,
it was a nice shout too.
Saying that Jared loves Alexander Madison, and he predicted that he was going to be RB1 after this year, like the RB1.
Couldn't be further from the truth.
Just kidding. So I had a trade that went through. Someone offered me Josh Kelly and Ty Chandler for a 3rd round pick, and so I smashed it.
Sure.
And then come to find out, there's a process of 8 hours where people can see the trade and then they can counter it in the league. And
what?
Yeah. So my trade got canceled, and the trade that went through, give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second.
What the fuck is the point of trading?
Listen, so the trade that went through. That's
the dumbest rule I've ever heard.
Ever. And so instead, the guy gave up Paris Campbell, Josh Kelly, Jake Ferguson, Ty Chandler, a 4th and another 4th for a 2nd round pick in 2025. Like, it doesn't, none of it really matters at all. And then the audacity of it all, the best part about everything was like they came back and said, hey, if you want to give me your 2025 2nd round pick, you can have all these players.
I'll keep the roster space.
Like, what?
What's the point of trading in that league? That's ridiculous. I couldn't be a part of it. I would leave. I wouldn't have even joined. I would have saw that rule and I would have been I'm out.
I didn't see it. I should have read the fine print, I guess. I didn't fucking see it.
There you go.
Yeah. And this is confirming Madison has been and will be trash. And on that note, I think we can call it another successful Fantasy Shot Callers Live. And by the way, Jared is trading Kyron Williams in our friends league. Just to let everyone know, he put him on the trade block and he's looking to get rid of him. And that's maybe another sell high too, I think.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I think Kyron Williams is going to be fine moving forward. I guess on that, Ben just was not down with that. All right, well, I guess that's gonna wrap it up for us today. Thanks for hanging with us. Like and subscribe if you haven't. Again, if you don't tune in, I mean, you're basically just passing on free money, y'all. Yeah, I think you're right, Jared. He did leave early to go make a trade offer. But yeah, fantasy is life. You know it's a vibe. Peace.
I don't know what happened. But yeah. All right. Well, y'all won't know what it is. Fantasy is life. You know it's a vibe. So let's get it cracking for week 3, baby. Peace.